Hey guys, Cameron with CBM Reviews here, and I'm here with another comic book movie review for you. This is the review of Aquaman. Aquaman was directed by James Wan, and it stars Jason Momoa, Amber Heard, Willem Dafoe, Patrick Wilson, and Nicole Kidman. Before I dive into this review, if you're a fan of comic book movie reviews, comic book TV reviews, even trailer reactions and Comic-Con footage, go ahead and click that subscribe button. And if you don't want to miss anything that I put out and want to get notified as soon as I post something, click that notification bell and you're notified every single time I post a video. Anyway, the story in a nutshell, without spoiling anything, is that Arthur Curry is a product of an Atlantean mother and a father from the surface. And so he has powers that normal people don't have, yet he lives on land. Something about Atlanta is about to throw down, and Mara, who is the daughter of one of the kings of Atlantis, comes up and tells him that he has to intervene or else the entire world is at stake. Without ruining anything, that's pretty much the story. This movie is fun. Number one, it looks brilliant. Whenever they go underwater, and this isn't just with Atlantis, but anytime that they're underwater, it looks breathtaking. That feeling that you got back 9 years ago when you watched them go to Pandora in Avatar, you get that same feeling whenever you go to Atlantis or whenever you're at this trench or this other place that I'm not going to tell you of. It just looks breathtaking, so much so that whenever they're on land, after you've gone there, it looks ugly in comparison. And I hate that because it makes the movie look ugly, but that's just because in those instances, it looks so breathtaking. The story is pretty good. I mean, there isn't anything that is too surprising. Like, pretty much it goes by the tropes. If you think that something's about to happen, it's gonna happen. However, even though the story definitely has a few cliches here and there, it doesn't take away from the fun. The action sequences are brilliant. Some of the fight scenes that happen on land and underwater are great to watch, some of which I wish I hadn't seen in trailers before because I would have been even more surprised and enjoyed them in the theater. The standout performances in this, and even though everybody does a pretty good job, especially Patrick Wilson, the standouts are Jason Momoa and Willem Dafoe. If you thought that he was great in the first Spider-Man as Norman Osborn, you haven't seen him as Vulko yet. And as Vulko, he is great. You can't really talk about Aquaman without talking about his other half, Mara, who in the beginning of this movie is a stranger to him, but as the movie progresses, they get closer and closer. There's a moment in the middle of the movie where they go to land and there's some very The Little Mermaid vibes going on. I mean, yes, she's a fiery redhead, she comes from the ocean, and she comes on land and she does weird things. I was half expecting her to take a fork and start combing her hair. The music, when it's the musical score, is great. It absolutely fits the mood. However, when they're using more conventional songs, it doesn't quite fit. There's a moment where they go somewhere and they started playing a song. I'm not gonna tell you which one, but in that moment I was like, are they really doing this? There's also a moment that happens in a trailer, and it's a brief moment that I wish they hadn't shown at all because it takes away a little bit of the gravity from the scene that's happening before it. This movie features two main villains. You have the first one, which is Black Manta, who is introduced at the very beginning of the film and has this revenge blood feud against Aquaman for something that happens earlier in the movie. And then you got Orn, who is trying to be the Ocean Master, who also happens to be Arthur's younger half brother. They both have different reasons for wanting to fight Aquaman, but they're both valid reasons. It doesn't ever feel like it's artificial or I have to beat this hero to take over the world. No, it's very personal reasons, and it's very grounded as far as what they're trying to do. There are some things that happen in the movie that I didn't particularly care for, but they're minor things. They're not things that take away from the atmosphere of the movie. They don't take away from the fun of the movie. And there are a whole lot of different set pieces, from a desert to the ocean to pleasant villas in Italy. It's really great. Although there is a moment where, you know, Aquaman seems more like Nicolas Cage trying to find the Declaration of Independence, you can look past that. Overall, as I said at the very beginning, this movie's fun. Whenever they're underwater, this movie's beautiful, and it's definitely worth watching. Rotten Tomatoes has this kind of lower than what I was expecting, but I'm gonna certify it fresh, as in fresh water. I'm gonna go a little bit higher than what some of the online reviews are saying, and I'm gonna give it an 81. As I said, the story's pretty generic. It doesn't really give you any, huge surprises or anything like that. But the action is great, the visuals are wonderful, and as far as directing goes, with the exception of those few songs that I didn't really like, I gotta give it to him. He did a great job with a character that most people before this point just made jokes about. Aquaman is no longer a laughing matter. That's my review of Aquaman. Tell me what you guys think about it in the comment section down below. You enjoyed this video? Hit that like button. And if you're new here, subscribe to the channel. Share this video with all your friends. And as always, this is Cameron with CBM Reviews. We'll see you next time.
A hero.